Hi, I'm Matthew Malcolm with California Dairy Magazine, and today at the Kearney Alfalfa and Forage Field Day, Dan Putnam addressed dairy and alfalfa producers on the factors to consider when determining which alfalfa varieties to plant for the most ideal results.
A really key issue here is pest resistance, and particularly in the San Joaquin Valley we've seen a huge problem with blue alfalfa aphid. We need to use every tool in the book to fight that problem, and one of the most important integrated pest management tools is variety selection for pest resistance. We test alfalfa varieties all over California in different regions in California. We go all the way from fall dormancy 3s and 4s up in the Intermountain area to probably 6 to 8s in the Davis, Sacramento Valley area. Fresno County, we're talking about probably 8s and 9s predominantly, and then as you get to Imperial Valley, where fall dormancy is between 8 and 11, and we have real non-dormant lines. That is these lines that grow all winter long. And so the fall dormancy is a characteristic that we always look for in alfalfa varieties, and it's really the degree of growth that you get in the late fall and winter. With our long season here in Central Valley of California, we want a more non-dormant alfalfa, the one that keeps growing through the winter. Whereas if you're in southern Canada or in the northern part of the United States, you would want a dormant variety which shuts down in late summer and early fall so that it prepares for the harsh winter periods. So that's probably a pretty important characteristic of our alfalfa varieties. And the thing that we would recommend is to choose alfalfa varieties first and foremost for the yields that you would get. And we have yield data on our alfalfa website, alfalfa.ucdavis.edu, for about 8 locations in California. So you can look up the nearest location to your farm and judge for yourself how the varieties are performing in an independent test, and not just take the seed company's word for it, a variety being a good variety. So they also use those tests to judge whether or not a variety is going to work for an area. We also would look for a variety to be really high in resistance to different kinds of pests. And in the Central Valley in particular, aphid resistance is probably one of the most important things we can look for. Also stem nematode resistance and Phytophthora diseases. Alfalfa actually has more resistance levels to insects and diseases than pretty much any other crop plant. So it's something that growers should take advantage of. So there's a lot of, and we've done the economics. People say, well, is it worth it to buy a better variety? And usually the difference in price between a better variety, one that really is improved, might be $1 or $2 or $3 a pound. And the answer is, if that is higher yielding, most definitely that would be worth it, because you can get, we've calculated between $500 per acre and $2,000 per acre benefit from planting a higher yielding variety in a region. We calculated that from our variety trial data. And so that's your yield potential that you may be giving up if you plant one of the ones that's down towards the bottom of the trial. So there's definitely a genetic component of yield potential that growers should look at and take advantage of. Performance is the most important economic trait, not the cost of the seed. The cost of the seed is rather trivial, because you can get thousands of dollars benefit from a seed, whereas the additional cost might be $50 per acre. So that's the key economic question that people need to look at.
Thank you, Dan. Learn more about alfalfa varietal selection by reading California Dairy Magazine. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.